Hi guys, it's Ichis here. So today I'm here with another premium deck profile, and this time we're covering Dimension Police. So Dimension Police is not a clan that I always take out to play because I love mechanically a lot more, and usually with the cards that I own, because I don't own any like of the burst cards in G era, only like a few commons and rares. While my friend is basically using those because he actually plays Grand Get Up, which is basically all the burst support went to. So I don't have a lot of stuff from there, which my main focus is always on Dimension Robo. And with the new premium support, the deck build is changed a little bit to a more generic build right now, which I think is actually quite simple to pilot. After a few playtesting, I do make some kind of misplays from games to games because I don't always take the deck out, but I'm learning as well. So I think so far this build is good enough for me to just take out and play. And it's quite easy to pilot, as I said. And without further ado, let's talk about the actual deck content. So, starting Vanguard, as long as you use the V era Vanguard, a grade 0 starter, that doesn't matter. As long as you get to draw on no matter what, you might get a quick shield, that's all that matters. And the main grade 3 that you will ride is still Die Liner. Die Liner, like before you strike, you can just search some cards for striding, for attacking, because it can be like a lot of normal units that you want, and if it's grade 3 plus 20k plus 1 crit, you can do a lot of early rush, which also allows you to actually go for force 2 if you really want to, but most of the time I'm going for force 1. I just like high power, big punches, and I don't want to like after 3 force markers, I don't know what other value I can get, so I usually go for force 1, but force 2 is of course something that's workable. And the main skill is for the defensive, that all your grade 3s get plus 10k shield, which we also have our Geomech to actually plus the shield value even more. So even if we are full of grade 3s in our hand, we can still do certain amount of guarding without that easy to just go away. And then 3 of the Die Kaiser, which I see some people actually running 2, but I think 3 is still okay. He is not a card that I usually ride on, not usually, because he can be good as a Vanguard and as a rearguard to suddenly pop another extra damage while your opponent is on 5, and they think they PG you, and then you check a grade 3 and just end the game. That is possible. But that is main users, and I usually prefer to have a Die Liner as a Vanguard for the shield value, because for that Kaiser you don't get that. You do get a crit, but as we all know, usually when we play like Dimension Police, we get high power, we get high crit, which is more likely to just bait out shields, and then we just like break through them by whatever. So big power, big crit is for that usage. Like in my concept, some people might do something different. They just think like big punches would just do the job, but I think differently, because for some reason my friend always have a PG in hand, they always have enough guarding in hand, so my way of playing is more like baiting them to use all that, and then while I still stay like defensive with a lot of ways to increase my shield value, then I can survive and win. And then Dice Hours is a backup plan for you to ride, but usually you don't want to, even though he can pump his power to a lot higher. But his main uses is for increasing a drive and 10k. That's all that matters. And then a Die Arm in case I face a deck that really have a lot of hands and I need like extra power, then there it is. But so far I don't see this as a case, but maybe it's just the decks that my friends playing are not like playing that many cards in hand, they just have enough way to survive. Entering grade 2s, 4 of the Kaiser, to have a chance to gain an extra force marker and a simple power plus without any counterblast and soul blast is just great. And then Poison Monster, which is a very good card. My friend actually hate this card because whenever I soul blast and making me choose, that's really like frustrating because they don't want the minus power. They prefer me to draw one. They don't like the minus power because it makes a lot of things hits, and because we are creating a lot of power difference right here, an extra minus 5k will just make them even like painful, so they hate that. But when my opponent is actually like grade 3, they just have to face both, so I just like to have that. And then Grand Wisdom is just the best counter charge option we have. We also get an extra soul, which is quite important in this deck because this also use like soul, because we need a soul box one to actually activate the skill. Die Liner also use soul, and then we have G units that also use soul, G guards that also use soul. So yeah, that's a lot of things use up soul, and we need something to actually put things back in. So yeah, here he is. And the great ones. First, the Eternity Chaser. So this is out with our Hero Zero. This card is something that I originally was wanting, like Commander Laurel with the V era version, which is also nice. W attack plus 1 crit, but I don't see the need of that card in this build anymore. It's still good, but doesn't change a lot of things because you are healing a lot like bigger already, so you kind of don't need that. So what I instead of using is this, because when he get right on top, you discard one card, and then you reveal a grade 3 in your hand. Then you can search your deck for another grade 3 that has a different name at your hand and shuffle your deck. So you actually get to prepare for stride, and it's a better riding options because the other cards in this deck as a great one that you usually like to play them as a rear guard, right? And then the second skill is kind of defensive, but so far I don't think we need to use that so much. But this is another card that you saw, so you can see why Grand Wisdom is quite important in this book. Next, 4 of the Twin Order is the still like best card to pump power. That no matter you use Force 1, you use Force 2, this card just gives you a lot more power, and if you have multiple, you can just pump your Vanguard to like so many 10k plus. You love to see it. And then the new great one, the Robo, that allows us to actually to put a card normal unit back to the bottom of the deck to draw one. If it's a graveyard, drawing an extra card. Drawing 2 is quite important. Having graveyard in the deck during the searchers is also important. In other soul blast cost to gain power, but usually I don't use that. And ending up great one with one extra Enigma PG, because it's something that we recyclable. Yet again, you do need to pay other cost, counter plus 1, soul plus 1, so you can see the soul usage is actually very important. And how you keep your soul not running out, how you control your soul is quite important. Also, that Kaiser can go into the soul as well, so it's kind of helping. It's kind of okay. Entering triggers. The Brand Gate over trigger I think is still better because everything is double. You just love to see it. There's nothing much we need to complain about. Strike for the crit. While we want to keep some great rays in hand for guarding, this might be a good card to drop because while you have a Die Liner and one of the Geomac less, your Great Rays is having the same shield value as these. but you can keep them for attacker or something, but this usually you won't be using as a boost because it's only a 4K, so it's more easier to just pull them out for striding. And then 3 of the draw PGs because we have 1 of the enigma PG, and then 4 of the Rika for yet another Soul Blast to basically kill PGs. It's quite important because we do have ways to actually utilize this card a lot more right now with the new support. And then 4 of the Hill Guardians because it also is a grade 3. It's quite important. Okay, now entering G zones, which we start off with 2 of the Cosmo Vanguard and Unibird Galaxy. So this card is just amazing. It's a burst unit, and for each damage, each regard you have, he just gain 10k plus. So it's so easy. If you have a full board, you're already plus 50k, and not counting damage. So that's a lot of power gain from here already, and you can just simply add more with your train order. You can simply reach the number you want to with Rika 2 white PGs. And then if you get to 50k or higher, which is quite easy as long as you have a full board, you get plus 1 crit. If it's 100k more, you get drive plus 2. So you like play a full board, pump it to just purely 65 plus a grade 3, which is 78, and you just need to have 3 damage to reach there, right? So it's actually quite easy, and you do have other like power plus like this, so it really won't be hard at all. And you get to kind of like draw 5 back, and maybe you meet another draw, you meet another stand. There's a lot of things can happen, and just this punch is already making your opponents to hurt in the brain already, because it's a plus 1 crit, plus 2 drive, big punches. And if you have a Rika there, then they just need to like drop you at least 2 BG and hope you're not putting 2 grade 3s, and they just going to suffer it. I'm running 2 because I do want to do it twice, having a chance to do that, and increasing the unit stat with burst as my G units, because we need a unit with burst to actually wipe the PG skill with Rika. And then 2 more burst units. The Excalibur, that's the 2 copies that I only have, so I'm running 2. Most people might just go for 3, but yeah, I only have 2, so I'm only running 2. And when this guy is coming in, really helps me so much, because before I only have these 2, so I am not running Rika at all. But sometimes when I face PG, I'm just okay, like just stand there. But now with 4 possible target, is just way easier to pull it off. I'm so happy about that. With Excalibur, we can do withstands, which you usually do at the second stride, because after this you just get so much power so easily to reach the withstand requirement. So yeah, after you withstand, you probably can win the game. Usually just one of this, that should be it. And then next, 3 of the Geomac class, they mainly for me to flip, so that I can increase my grade 3 shield value, because my friend always like to play decks that can just affect my front row, so I usually don't play the grade 3s in front, except that Kaiser. So yeah, basically just that. But if you really want to try in the Geomac class to build your board a little bit more, I think it's okay too. But with Unibird Galaxy comes out, I don't think we actually need to strike into Geomac class. I don't think so. But it's still a quite important card to stay on the G-Zone face up, so I'm running 3. And then 2 of the Daikaiser Leon, because sometimes we just want some simple shield break, and sometimes we have to ride on Daikaiser, and he can be handy. So, and since we have Daikaiser, which just to review his requirement, I just put 2 in just in case. But as I said, usually these two will just finish the job. But if you really can't finish that, at least you still have something to just break the shield. And then one of the Stark, one of the Renegade Dragon. This for a free strike. If we want to, this is an extra finisher if we need to. There's nothing too much to talk about those. Okay, and then two of the Gira Gamelgos. So this is another new support we get, but cost us so +1 again. So yeah, you can see the soul usage is very high. Which good about this card is you can pick up to 2 of the Great Freeze unit, normal unit though, from drop and add to your hand. If you pick up 1, you get +5k. You pick 2, it gets +10k. So can be 25k shield. You can pick up the Hill Guardian, of course, else you will just be like keep losing it for free without finding a heal. So that is not happening. But the +10k shield is actually quite important, and being able to pick up your Daikaiser that you so lost to place on the field again for the sudden damage threats, I think it's still quite good to have. And then GO5 for a kind of a easier defensive power up, yet another card to custom use soul. So yeah, really important to have a lot of souls. And then Seal, yet another card that costs you soul. So yeah, our G guards is basically just use up our soul quite easily. So do be careful, as I keep repeating, be careful on your soul usage and you will be fine. And Seal is here to at least give your Vanguard extra 5k to survive for the turn. That's basically it. But I like these very much. And then ending up with the Dolphin, that depending on how large the board you have, how many units that you have on the board, you get to have a high power defense. And if you actually get the shield value to over 30k, you get a counter charge one and soul charge one. So it's important because the soul is something that we really need. Counter blast is something that we also need because Daikaishi need that to penetrate 1 damage. Yeah. So as I said, the deck is actually quite straightforward because what you need to go for is to just strike into this first and strike into this next. And when you flip out the Geo Necklace, the rest is more toolboxing parts, and have this ready for you to kill the PG effects. Have this here to pump the power as long as you have a lot of force markers. Have this to make your opponents annoying. Have this to counter charge. Have this to gain an extra drive if you really need to. Yeah, this will penetrate. And if you need power, go for this. Then I think that's basically it. But as usual, if you have any questions about the deck, idea, and anything, just feel free to drop down a message down below, comments down below, and I will answer them. I hopefully can actually do some fight videos with this deck. I did try it, but I made some mistakes, and it's something that I cannot afford to do, so I can't use that video, and I will be using this deck for doing more fight videos, and hopefully I can have one that I feel okay to show you guys, then you can see it. That's also one reason that you didn't see me post on Friday, because I was editing that and I think it's not good to show, so yeah, it's gone. Yeah, as usual, again, comments down below if you have any questions with deck builds, ideas, and such. Happy to answer them. Subscribe to the channel for more deck profiles, more deck fights, more unboxings. Hopefully Hong Kong may have some events soon, then maybe I can do some coverage on those as well. But no idea yet, because just situation is not that good, and actually see a lot of places having events already, so hopefully Hong Kong can have some one day. Yeah. And yeah, basically I think that's all I need to say. Like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.